Evening everyone, warm welcome back to the channel, and you join me today. We're going to be tidying up a few little repairs on sort of the roof and the drip rails of the Fiat. So I'll just flip the camera around, have a little look about what we're talking about, get straight onto the... So quite a common place for these to go is, as you can see here, we've got some frilly edges on some of these bits on the sunroof holes. So what I've done here is I've cut one out and we'll put a little patch in there. Here's one that I did before. It's just been sort of ground back with the roll-lock disc, so it's clean and smooth, but it hasn't actually been finished sanded. And these go all the time here on the corners because they were literally held in with self-tapping screws. This, in case you don't know, by the way, is where the sunroof mounts, so it's a bit of a water trap. What we'll do is drill a hole up from underneath there to sort of reinstate the holes as they're supposed to be. So we'll get onto sort of doing this one as a little bit of an example of just cutting the metal to fit, welding it and grinding it back. Might do that one if I get a chance, and also hopefully we'll get a chance to look at the end of the drip rail, the rain gutter, which, as you can see, whilst it hasn't gone rusty right the way through there, it has kind of rotted away. I think probably because this model had like a black trim plastic cover that went over there and caused it to trap water and rot away. So I have cut a piece that will fit in relatively nicely in here. I should be able to weld it to the top of this and grind it back and then bend it up and weld it onto here. So we'll kind of do this in two pieces. We'll weld it in a flat piece, we'll bend it to the profile, then we'll weld it in here, and then we'll kind of, it'll sit too big and we'll grind it back. So that's what we're planning on doing over the course of this video. Now, what I have used here is 1.3mm steel, which is a little bit of overkill for the job that this is doing, which is simply kind of filling a hole. But I cut it to shape and I've ground it back and kind of cleaned the edges with the sanding disc, and I'll just try and get the camera set up in a way that you can see this being buzzed in and then ground back. Okay, so whilst we're not going to win any Oscars for cinematography, hopefully you'll at least see some of that being buzzed in there, and I'll just give it a grind off now and then we'll have a closer look at any finishing bits that need to be done. Okay, so let's just grab that off there and flip around. And whilst it's not perfectly metal finished and could probably do with a little bit of going over again in certain places, it is at least now solid with no holes. Which looks like I need to weld that bit up. I'll do that again in a moment. So what we can do with both of these now is just simply stick a drill through from underneath and reinstate the holes as they should be. So there you go, that's part one finished. We have holes drilled in and metal where previously there was a load of rotten stuff. So the next one will be to do that one there, and then I think we got one on the other side which is just as bad. What I need to do as well, which I won't film, is just make a piece up to go in here. Now although it looks flat, it's not actually, because you've got a swage line that comes in I think to about here, so it's flat and then it kind of kicks up a little bit. We'll get that bit done as well. Now I didn't film this one, although actually thinking about it I probably should have done, because it's I used a different technique on this. So whereas this plate I pre-fitted and had it sitting exactly flush in the hole before I started welding, this one here, because it's on a curve, rather than kind of making that compound shape there prior to fitting and then trying to sort of hold it in with a magnet, what I did was get it so it was sitting flush here at the bottom and here at the top, and I just held it in with a 90-degree magnet across there, got a couple of tacks in, and then basically like tapped it with a hammer to kind of square it all up, then tacked it further along, and then as I was left with this trailing edge here, I just hammer formed it against the curve that was already there, because that's quite strong. You can hammer against that because it's quite thin metal. You can see from the bead profile I just used a bit of a higher travel speed, so same wire speed, same amperage, bit of a faster travel speed, just to stop the heat from building up too much. We have more than enough penetration in there, but it just means that it minimises warping, which is not much of a problem really on such a tiny panel as this anyway, but that's why the bead profile looks slightly different. I'm not going to drill a hole in this one because I will do what the factory did, and when the sunroof goes in I'll put self-tappers through there, so I don't actually need like sheet metal screws, tech screws, whatever you want to call them, through there, so I don't need to pre-drill a hole. None of this is seen anyway, so whether I give a little skim of filler over some of these, I might not bother. You never see it because the roof covers right up to here and sits again right along there when it's closed. So we'll just grind these welds back and then probably call it a night. And there we are, ground back flat. Again, we're only grinding back with 36 grit at the moment, so it's not metal finished by any stretch of the imagination. And yes, there are a couple of pinholes revealed there which I will need to just zap over the top and grind back, but I won't bother doing that tonight. I'll do that before we call it finished. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was a bit informative for some of you. I know I kind of over-promised and under-delivered because I haven't got round to doing the drip rail part, but all in all that was like 50 minutes worth of work, making those bits of metal, fitting, welding, grinding back, drilling the holes, and it's getting quite late here, so I will give that a miss and we'll do that on another day. But again, that's quite a common repair on some of these Fiat. So if you think I've done a half decent job, let me know. If you think I've made an awful mistake and you wouldn't let me anywhere near your car, again, feel free to let me know. It's always good to learn. And as I say, please like, please subscribe, please leave me any comments. Till the next time, take care, bye bye.